Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the Go to Webinar control panel.
What's going on? Well, good morning, everybody.
The system will notify you once you begin your broadcast.
How's everybody doing?
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Sweet. Happy New Year to everybody. First trading day of the year. What is going on? What are you guys watching? Sick. Good. Hey, Ryan, how you doing? Man, we got things to do. You know how it goes. Let's do this. All right, so first of all, there's a monster gap in the market today. I think that's going to take a little bit of the range out of the market. So just something to kind of keep mind of. When you have like big gaps in the market like you do today, so if you look at the QQQs, you know, we closed pretty strong on New Year's Eve. I mean, monster close. And then now we're getting this big gap right here. And that's going to take a lot of the range on it. How you doing, Rick? God bless you. Good morning. What's going on? So gap up days are historically the trickiest days to trade. So what you want to do on like a big gap day like we have today is you want to really focus in on number one, if you can find earnings plays. Number two, what you really want to focus on a gap up day like this is looking and seeing if you can find, like, hit the first pullback on a particular names. You can't chase a stock up on a big gap like that. So if you look, you've got Tesla. Tesla's gapping up $10, right? We were day trading this on the other day on Tuesday. $10 gaps. It's hard to chase these kind of things. You see Shop, this is a name that we trade quite a bit, $7 gaps. So you have to be very, very careful. So these are not gaps that are caused by some type of news. This is a market caused gap. So when you have a market caused gap, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to suck some of the range out of the market. So you have to be much more precise with your entries today than you would be on any other type of day. So two things that you want to do. Number one, focus on earnings plays. Number two, if you're going to focus on regular stocks, you want to hit the first pullback, because if you start to just chase these names up, you're going to have yourself all sorts of pain. So let's take a look here. This Palm, this is a one candle spike. That's not really what we're looking for here. This Sava is still going, huh? So you got some end of day news on New Year's Eve on Sava. You got a 34% gap. It's going to take it back into this. Look, if it breaks 720 at some point at the open, this could be a potential long. So I would keep this on the watch list. I probably won't trade it because it's too extended for me. You may get a quick day trade out of it. If it can break and hold over 720, that'll be a nice, easy spot for you. But unless that happens, probably leave that one alone. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see here. Rad. Man, so Rad was holding at the 9 EMA on Friday. Or, I keep saying Friday. Tuesday. You got a gap up now of $2 on this one. Frankly, Rad, see, this was an earnings breakout, this move. So when you have like a stock that's an earnings breakout, the first pullback does tend to, give you a little bit of juice. The issue I had with this one was, obviously the pullback was like really vicious, and it makes it like much trickier to trade. So this is something we can put on the watch list. I would watch this one though. It's much better on dips than trying to chase it on strength. Looks pretty good though. I'd add that to the list for now. And then see, else says like dollar junk. See, if you're gonna trade dollar stocks, you can't really trade dollar stocks to have like 70,000 pre-market volume. You need these things to really shred off at the open. I mean, you want to see like 1 million shares, 2 million shares in volume. When you get that kind of volume, that's when you're gonna get some heat on this thing. Dun, 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 junk. Cena. This is gapping up with probably all the other Chinese stocks. Nothing special there. FSLY. Guys, send me your takers. What are you guys watching? Let's see what this man's got up on the board. Yeah, FSLY, so it's going to be no good. So you can see here, Billy, that's a Chinese stock, FSLY, LK. So a lot of Chinese stocks are moving up. LK at this point is going to be tricky because you're on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 of the move. So today's gap will be day 5. A day 5 gap is really tricky, right? A day 5 gap is really tricky. I can't chase this one up, you know. Now, one thing with LK is like every day it'll dip down a little bit and then ramp up. So, you know, you can hit this thing if it has like a big spike down at some point today. Say like you get this thing spiked down closer to 36 where that 9 EMA is, that you could start to look at it for potential long. But at this point, like that one is going to be, hey, Mr. Olson, how are you? That one's going to be a little bit extended. What do you think? Prognesh, how you doing? Cool. So let's take a look. So these are going to be my faves for today because it doesn't look like there's any good earnings plays really besides RAD, which was an earnings from like a few days ago. Let's see on the downside if we got anything TVIX. So these are all inverse ETFs. Junk. So these are all inverse ETFs. So there's nothing really with earnings. Earnings season is always kicked off with Alcoa, which starts January 15th, okay? So January 15th, you're going to get first day of like the major earnings season. So what you need to do in the meantime is sharpen your sword, sharpen your tool belt, watch as many videos, webinars, classes as you can, because when January 15th starts, that's when the market's really going to start to heat up. In the meantime, because we're just a little bit overbought and extended, we may just kind of grind higher. Hey, James, what's going on? But this is like a monster grind. It's one of the strongest markets I've ever seen. Everybody looks like a genius in this type of market. I see it like, you know, in our chat room, we have all the traders, and it's like, you know, every day somebody will be like, man, I shredded today. And it's like, yes. It's just one of those markets that's giving you a lot of opportunities. But you got to be careful of being complacent. So top plays for today. Let's go through these. I think JNUG is going to have some heat today. We had a slightly down day on Tuesday. You can already see it's starting to ramp $4 pre-market. I really think that JNUG's got room to 100. What we want to just be doing is making sure we have like proper intraday setups because you can see it's getting a little bit long in the tooth, and that's when things will be a little bit weird. But I like this one. You got a nice strong gap on this one. I think this is going to be, you know, top of the list for us. What do you think? Good. NIO had a rest day. So see this candle here? This is what we call an inside day. An inside day is when you have a momentum stock that is stuck under the previous day's range. So see, like you had the previous day's range was from 275 to 475. So Tuesday you had an inside day. An inside day is actually a positive thing. It's a rest day. Stocks that get their power from resting, from consolidation, from basing. So when you get that inside day, it's an indecision day. But what happens is if you take out the highs from the previous day or you start to attack them, then the full-blown like secondary move starts. So I think this one looks good. You want to definitely be watching this one on like big dips down to support. You know, there's some support here at 370. There's some support at 390. And then watch the range around 440. Like if you kind of chop it around in the middle of the range here, you'll have like really sloppy results on this one. But like any like normal spike down, like you get like a big just flushed down really quickly, watch for a 1, 2, 3 pattern and some type of reversal. What I mean by 1, 2, 3 pattern is like, right, watch for like a W or some type of double bottom to hold. That's kind of how it ramped up on Tuesday. You see like how it gapped up here? It gapped up from 380 to 440, right? So the first candle, it moved up about 50 cents. And you can see here, like, see how it like drifted back down? Oh, about 60 cents it corrected. It came back and filled this gap, moved down about 60 cents. 60 cents a $4 stock, like 12, 13, 14%. And see how like it starts to hold at these MAs? When you start to hold at those MAs and you start to grind on it, that's when you can get like a nice push back. That's what you're looking for on a stock like a NIO, especially with the market opening up so strong. Any kind of flush down. Watch how it holds at those MAs. If it starts to hold and build, right, build up that steam, build up that power, that's when you can kind of flush that thing back up into, you know, the spike. I won't chase this thing by, on the gap up. I'm watching all dips, right, all dips down to support. When you are trading, start understanding, say you got a stock on your watch list, look at it from different time frames so you can really have an understanding of where the levels are and you have an understanding of where positive demand will come in. Remember, trading is just about supply and demand. So where are the demand levels? Where do they start coming in? And that's where you want to start to look for your smaller and short-term price patterns to start to hold at those levels, and that's when you get long. So watch this thing on dips, watch it at the MAs, and we'll be good. Martin, what's up, baby? How are you? So I like that one. Roku actually ended up holding on support here. So I think at this point, if it's holding at support, what you can just say is that we're in a range over here. Watch and see if this thing starts to bounce back into the top of the range. We might get a little bit of a push on this one. SPCE, I still got an alert set on this one, right in the 1170s. It's starting to spike up a little bit here. You're starting to build out a flag pattern. I think that this one, it's got a chance. It's just going to go when we're not looking. Chewy, 2971 is the trigger on this one. On your TC2000 or any charting platform you're using, right? All you do is right click a trend line, set an alert. If you start to push near that level, this thing is going to be hot. This is called the base breakout pattern. It can frankly get going in a really fast way. So definitely, you definitely kind of, this one's got heat, man. I think this one runs into the new year. Why could it run into the new year? When you have IPO stocks that were at 50% off its bottoms, and they start to rebound, they start to base out, you actually end up with a nice one. If this thing busts over that 2971, frankly, it'll even take it into, I might even take it for a swing. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Doyu is a tax loss selling play for me. If it triggers over this level, I'm actually looking at this one for a potential swing trade. You can see it's already starting to kind of push over this. In this market, even though we're primarily day traders, in this market, due to the gap ups, you really have to hold a couple swing trades, I think, at all times. Because what happens is, like, when you have gap ups, like I have like a couple swing trades in Baidu, XLNX, and a couple other ones now. When you get like a $3-4 gap up, if you're in some swings, right, you're gonna have that cash that comes in right off at the open. So it's something you got to do in this market. Doyu, if it breaks and holds over that level, I think this is another one of those kind of tax loss selling plays that could run into the new year. Looks pretty good. Hey, Junes, how are you, by the way? Good. RVLV is another one that I'm just stalking here. Every day I've been staring at this thing, waiting for it to it's starting to just kind of coalesce and marinate a little bit. As that pattern tightens up, you can see here, like, first of all, this is another tax loss selling type of play. It was at $48, got down to $16. I'm looking for specifically stocks that are 50% or more off its highs, that were hot stocks for a period of time. These are what's called the January effect plays. These are the ones that can get going in January when that tax loss selling is over. As long as it can hold over here at these MAs and bust over 19, I think that this one could trigger a multi-day run. Also looks pretty good. Crowd, similar. I've got a trend line built here. It's stuck under these MAs. As soon as it can clear out these MAs. So the thing with moving averages, they can act as a source of supply. They can act as a source of selling and put a lid on a particular name. So what happens though is as you kind of test that level, and you test that level multiple times, when you can finally break over it and clear it, what can happen is it just it unleashes, it releases all that steam that has been building up for the last month as it keeps testing those support areas. So if I can get this thing over like 51.20, I think that one could take this thing right back into the 60s. You can see what's another one. There's another one that's like 50% or more off its highs. In a hot market where everything has been going up, I'm hunting for bottoming plays, right? Stocks that have not exploded. Like, it's really hard to be chasing up Tesla like up 300 points, right? So we got to find the next ones. And then this SLC, I've been stalking this one too. I think this one probably goes at some point in the next week. You see one test, two tests, three tests, four tests. So you got a nice support level here that's built at 6. You got your 9 EMA under it also. If it can clear over this level over here, I think that's where it gets good. So if you look at like a 50-minute chart or a 30-minute chart, you get cleaner levels. Watch this 630. Like, if you can break and hold over 630, I think that you're going to have yourself some really nice action in this one. These oil names are beaten down. I mean, how much more can they go down, right? 0, I guess. But this thing was $60, and now it's kind of marinating around in this 5-6 range. This thing's got a chance into the new year. Yeah, I didn't see too many good gappers today. And ARWR also. Hey, Lightning, how you doing? Yeah, they have options trading in India, brother. ARWR, I've got a trend line set here. So draw a trend line alert here. If it ever breaks over this trend line, this thing is going to be in the mid-70s quickly. Right now, it's just marinating. It's building up power. So this stock was at $26. It got to $75. That's a big move. Stocks get their power from consolidation, from basing. After an extended move where you get multiple pushes, so this is your first push, then you pull back, that's your second push, that's your third push, right? So after 3 pushes or 3 waves of buying, you're going to need some time to really consolidate, to build up power, build up steam. That's what you're seeing over here. You got a tightening of range, and the volatility and the volume will contract. So you see how like the volume's contracting here? This white line represents its average volume for the last 14 days. See how like the volume has been less every day than its average? So what it's telling you is that the volatility in the range is contracting, but that's a positive thing. That's telling you that steam is building up, right? A stock is like a person. It needs to rest. If it goes on a big run, right? Just like if you go on a run outside, what happens? The longer you run, the more rest you need. So you just ran a marathon here. Now it's chilling out. And it's been chilling out for last month. When it breaks over this trend line, this thing's going to be good to go. Brugnish, what do you got? What do you like? Talk to me, baby. Chris, what do you like? Brad, what do you like? Good. Yeah, I think this one, like 60, so 66 would be the good spot to try to load up on this thing. Christian, what are you watching, buddy? Sweet. So let's talk about this in terms of just favorites. I think Nio, Rad, LCAN, Dips. These are going to be, you know, our hot plays. And then we've been day trading Tesla and JNUG as like daily traders. But I think JNUG is, you know, top of the list as a daily trader too. Peloton looks good too. Peloton's remounted like right here. Now this could turn into a bear flag, frankly. So what we need to see is like it close above the 9 EMA. If you can close above the 9 EMA, then I think that this one has a chance to go up. You know, it's really only $6-7 away from its IPO highs. You know, it's been getting busted down, but it's not really, like it's not that far removed from an IPO breakout. Watch that 9 EMA. If you can hold there, you're good to go. Yeah, STNE is another one. I got this on the list too. This is a fave. You can see here, you got a nice trend line break. If you can break and hold over 40, that's a good spot. Yes, good. Good eye, by the way, on STNE. Let's add that to the list. The issue on STNE that I see is that it only did 900,000 shares of volume on Tuesday. But remember, Tuesday was, frankly, like half the people were out. You know, it wasn't a half day, but people were meandering around. Like we traded for like the first 2 hours, we shredded it, and then we were like, all right, we're out of here. You know, I think a lot of people were like that. So the volume, when you're looking at volume on some specific names, they might look a little bit low, but that's okay. Ravi, how you doing? So add STNE. Yeah, TTD Ravi is like a nice daily trader. I always keep this one on my watch list. It's got a nice range on it. You know, Ping is another one that looks great. I was looking at this for maybe even a potential swing if it can break. The volume is like too light. The volume is like too light to day trade it, but it is it's going to be, I think, a swing. Hey, Rick, you know, I think we start up in like a couple weeks. Hit me up if you got any questions. Yes, I'll put my email in. All right, let's take a look. Rajani, what's going on, baby? How are you? Samu Barak. Man. Corey, I'm guessing you're trying to short this thing? I suck at shorting these like kind of small cap stocks, but I do see the play. Yes, you got 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 up days in a row. I mean, your 9 EMAs at 130, so like yeah, it's pretty extended out. This could be an exhaustion gap today. You know, one more big push. And if you could get this thing, if you look at a weekly chart, you know, somewhere in this range up here would be nice. got any other spots we can. So you got pivot points, R1 270. Oh, there you go. See that, Corey? So you got, use a lot of times on these small caps when they get really extended. I noticed they fail at some of these pivot points. So you start watching this thing around these like levels over here. You may get yourself a nice little shred. Good eye, buddy. Good eye. Cool. Rajni, let me look at Tiva. How are you? Tiva's another one I had on my list for like a tax loss selling type of play. You've got yourself like a nice kind of flag pattern that's been developing over the last month. The problem with Tiva is it just moves thick. So when it goes, like it'll go, but like it's going to take a while to get there. This to me is like more of a swing trade type of stock. The issue with Tiva and why you can't really swing trade it too well is that it has bad news out all the time. So like a lot of these stocks like Tiva, MNK, ENDP, man, they're all getting smoked too with that opiate stuff. So they're getting sued like right and left, and so they're just getting dusted on all this kind of news. So a lot of times, like when you have these, they just, you like wake up one day and they're down. So I think CGC is my favorite for today, guys. If CGC can get over this 22, man, it's off to the races on this one today. So CGC, Cron also, all of these, Cron over 8, these are the hot ones, I think. Yeah, and TLRY too. Add TLRY. These are my faves. So remember we're talking about like tax loss selling plays, right? A lot of these plays were in the hundreds of dollars. You're starting to see some buying pressure come in. See the volume spike on TLRY on Friday or Tuesday? That's a pretty good indication, right? That like something fun's happening. Good. Sweet, guys. Well, let's do what we do, man. All right. And as always, if you like these YouTubes, give me a little thumbs up, and I'll be trading in the chat room. Let's make quick work out of it today, guys. I'll be trading in the chat room till it just slows down. I don't got any timelines today. We ain't got nothing, dude. It's the new year. Cool. Let's do it, guys. Let's have some fun.